Family ghosted me in a reunion I paid for, asked me to forgive sister for stealing my money. So I gave them an invoice at dinner, called the cops. I should have realized something was wrong the instant I turned into the parking lot. There are no recognizable cars, no commotion, no cousins smoking near the bins while pretending no one is looking. Just silence. I checked the message again. Friday at 7 p.m. Mateos. Cannot wait to see everyone. Sent by Mom. 2 weeks ago. It was Friday at 7:02 p.m. I was exactly on time, like an idiot. When I stepped inside, the frigid air gave way to mellow jazz and clinking drinks. The place wasn't completely vacant, but the private room I had paid for was locked. Dark. "Can I help you, sir?" the hostess inquired, scarcely looking up. "Yeah. Thompson party, private dining room?" She studied the list. "Oh yeah. That was last night." I blinked. No, it was tonight. I paid the deposit. I booked it." She tilted her head. "Sir, they were here. 16 people, big cake. Your mom brought place cards. Are you sure you're not confused?" I laughed. Actually, I laughed. One of those dry, stinging ones that expires halfway through your mouth. "No, I'm not confused." She paused, feeling embarrassed. "Do you want to call someone?" I did not respond to her. I was already dialing. The phone rang twice before she answered. "Hi, sweetie," Mom murmured, her voice too light and casual. "Everything okay?" I looked straight ahead. "Where is everybody?" A pause. She then offered that airy little laugh she always used when she knew she'd made a mistake but didn't want to confess it. "Oh honey, it was yesterday. We thought you weren't coming. But don't worry, we'll bring you leftovers." I froze. "What?" She repeated it as if it were no great issue. "It was yesterday. We'll bring you leftovers." I did not even say goodbye. I just hung up. Nobody called back. Not Mom. Not Rachel. Not anyone. Then a text appeared. Rachel Lomeo. "Bro, you really missed it. Classic. Do not worry, we saved you one roll." I couldn't tell if my hand was shaking due to cold or wrath. I looked at the hostess. "They came, they ate, they left." She shrugged. "Looked like they were having fun." Of course they did. They usually do when I am not present. I went without saying anything more. Did not call, yell, or write in the group chat. But I did not go home either. I sat in the car with the engine turned off, staring at my reflection in the glass, thinking about the bill, the card charge, and the 10 unread texts I'd sent my mother 3 days ago to confirm the time. They all knew. They simply didn't care. They had made that decision together. And tomorrow, I'd make my. You'd think being excluded from a paid-for family dinner would be the worst part. It was not. It was the cherry on top of a 5-year rubbish sundae. This was not the first time they had left me out. Not even close. It was the first time they had been honest enough not to fake it. I was always an afterthought. Growing up, Rachel was the bright one who only needed a little help getting started. I was the one who did not require much. That was their code for, "You can thrive without love, so we won't waste it on you." When I obtained my first real job, I called Mom with pride. She did not say congratulations. She responded, "Great. Now you can finally help your sister with rent." That was the beginning of it. 1 month's rent evolved into a year. Bills came next. Then she underwent dental surgery. Next, consider car insurance. Then came textbooks for her new nursing program, which she dropped after 1 semester and never reimbursed me for. I paid because I believed it was what you did when you love your family. But love in my family only goes one way. Every time I mentioned it, even gently, I was slammed with, "Stop being so transactional. We're family. Rachel is going through a lot. You know that. You're doing better than her. Why are you keeping score?" I was not keeping score. They simply refused to recognize I was bleeding. I recall one night, 2 years ago. I had just wired Rachel $600 for her emergency vet cost. Later that day, she shared an Instagram story featuring new shoes, new nails, and a guy's hand wrapped around a champagne glass. I showed Mom the story. She scrolled, smirked, and replied, "You boys always get so petty about money." Petty. I paid their property taxes last winter since Dad forgot, and the county issued a lien warning. I covered Rachel's credit card minimums for 6 months after she was laid off, despite the fact that I was barely getting by myself. One Christmas, I depleted my savings to buy gifts for everyone. So what did I get? A framed family photo. I wasn't in it. but nothing compared to the night I found out what they truly thought of me. It was approximately 6 months ago. I was staying at my parents' place for the weekend. I had just bailed Rachel out of another jam, this time with $1,200, after she had mistakenly overdrafted again. I walked downstairs to get some water and heard voices in the living room. Rachel responded, "He's so obsessed with being the martyr. It's pathetic." She replied, "I know. He acts like he's some kind of savior just because he pays for things." He was chuckling. "Let him pay. He's not going to find a wife anyway, might as well be useful." First. Stood in the hall, paralyzed. Rachel repeated smugly, "You know he thinks we'd fall apart without him." Snort. "Please. If he disappeared tomorrow, I wouldn't even notice." I didn't enter the room. I went back upstairs, lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. Mom made pancakes the next morning as if nothing had happened. Following that, I stopped sending money for nearly 2 weeks. Then, Rachel texted, "Rachel, I need help with my rent. I will pay you back. Promise." I did not respond. 2 days later, Mom called. "Mom, Rachel's behind on bills. She's in a really bad place. You know she's sensitive. Why are you being cold?" I responded, "I just can't keep doing this." Her response was, "If you're going to punish us for raising you, maybe we shouldn't have bothered." That broke me worse than I realized at the time. I sent the money later in the day. After all that, they held a family reunion without me. I paid for my dinner. I confirmed a specific time. When I contacted Mom to see where they were, she had the audacity to say, "It was yesterday, we'll bring you leftovers." Leftovers. Like a dog. Not a son. Not a brother. Simply a wallet with arms. I sat in the car outside Mateo's for a long time that night. I did not cry. I did not yell. I sat in that heavy, dense silence, thinking about every time I'd been the nice guy and how much it had cost me. Tomorrow, I would not be the good one. Tomorrow they'd discover what it's like when I stop performing my role, and I knew just where to start. I did not sleep that night. Not because I was sad, not even mad. Honestly, I was calculating. After tax and tip, my dinner at Mateo's came to $1,740. 16 persons. Appetizers. Menu can be customized. I'd even paid more for Rachel's vegan food and Aunt Mary's wine allergy accommodations. They did not simply forget me. They knew, yet they did it nonetheless. The following morning, I sent a message to the family group chat. "Me. Let's meet at Mom's tonight at 7 p.m. I've got something for you." Nobody inquired what it was. Of course they did not. They never asked me any questions. At 6:58 I parked into my folks' driveway. Inside they had already gathered. Rachel was on the phone. Dad was in his recliner, drinking a beer. Mom fluffed the couch pillows as if we were expecting company. She looked up and grinned. "Hi, honey. We weren't sure if you'd still be upset." I said nothing. Rachel looked up. Phony sympathy pasted across her cheeks. "You know we didn't do it to hurt you," she told me. "It was just easier for everyone to come Thursday. Most of us have lives." She said this with a straight face. I placed a large envelope on the coffee table. "What's this?" Mom inquired. I sat down gently and calmly, saying, "It's a bill." Dad scoffed. "A bill for what?" "For dinner," I responded. "The one you all enjoyed without me." Rachel laughed. "You're joking." "I'm not." Mom narrowed her eyes. "Are you seriously trying to make us pay you back?" "No," I replied, leaning forward. "I'm giving you the opportunity. Because from now on, anything you want from me comes with an invoice." There was quiet. Then Dad sat up straighter. "You need to drop this attitude, son. We're family, right?" I responded, "Family? The same family that intentionally excluded me from a reunion I paid for? The same family that's drained me financially and emotionally for 5 years straight?" Rachel rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on. No one made you pay." That's when something inside me snapped. I stood up. "You know what? Fine. Let's talk about what no one made me do." I pointed at Rachel. "I wasn't made to pay your rent for 2 years, or cover your overdraft fees, or replace your transmission." I turned to Mom. "I wasn't made to cover your back taxes, or pay for your birthday cruise when you said Dad forgot, or pick up groceries when you suddenly couldn't walk because of your knee." Dad's face became red. "Watch it." "Oh, I'm just getting started," I explained, pulling out a printed list from my pocket. You don't want to hear it? I do. I've had to live it. And then comes the twist. I took out a folder and tossed it onto the table. What's this now? Dad demanded. I smiled. Documentation of every single transaction, every wire, every Venmo, every Cash App, every receipt. Rachel snorted. Wow. You really are insane. No, I replied, dead calm. I'm protected. Because I filed a fraud report this morning. All of this. I clicked on the folder. It's already in the system. What are you talking about? Mom inquired, her voice becoming hushed. I stared her directly in the eyes. Last week, I found out someone used my name to open a new credit card. The same one that paid for a new iPhone and a spa package Rachel posted about but claimed was a gift from a friend. Rachel froze. I called the credit company. They're investigating it as identity theft. The address they gave them? Yours. She stood up. Are you kidding me? Nope, I replied. And if you think I won't press charges? You wouldn't dare, Mom hissed. Try me. The room exploded. Rachel yelled. You're pathetic, Dad shouted. You want to send your own sister to jail? You want me to keep playing the idiot? Forever? I responded. Mother burst into tears. You're destroying this family. No, I replied, going toward the door. I'm finally saving myself from it. And now for the second twist. As I turned away, someone spoke for the first time. My cousin, Luke. The quiet one. He rarely speaks out at family gatherings. I'd like to pay my share, he stated softly. Of the dinner. I mean, it's only fair. Everyone looked at him, shocked. He added, and I know I should have said something, but they did plan to exclude you. I was there when they joked about it. Said you'd be too dramatic. I'm sorry. I looked at him and smiled for the first time that night. Thanks. Then I walked out. They felt they could utilize me indefinitely. But they forgot one thing. Even the quiet ones finally talk. And when we do not whisper. We called the cops. My phone buzzed the next morning at 8:17 a.m. This is a private number. I picked it up. Hi, is this Ethan Thompson? Yes. This is Officer Reynolds, local precinct. We're currently following up on a report of financial fraud involving a credit card opened in your name. Your family was listed at the billing address. We'll be visiting the property today for a statement. I didn't say anything for a moment. Then, do you need me there? No, sir. You've done your part. We'll take it from here. I hung up and sat in silence. For once, they'd open the door and discover someone they couldn't gaslight. This time, I didn't need to talk. The police handled everything for me. I believed that stillness would bring serenity. Instead, it created mayhem. They say that removing the keystone from an arch causes everything to collapse. I was not the keystone. I was the entire basis. And the second I stepped away, the house of cards collapsed. The police visit was not subtle. Mom left a long, angry voicemail stating that they arrived at 7:45 a.m., while she was still wearing her robe. Dad had not even had his coffee yet. 2 officers, 1 male and 1 female, polite but direct. We're following up on an identity theft claim. The credit card was opened in your son's name. It was used for over $4,000 worth of purchases tied to this address. We need to know who had access. Mom's response. There must be some mistake. We're a good family. Classic. They asked to talk with everyone in the house. Rachel attempted to leave in the middle of the chat, claiming she had work. The officers asked her to stay. She cracked within 5 minutes. It wasn't even fraud. He always helps. I thought he wouldn't mind. Mom jumped in. She's under stress. She didn't mean it. Unfortunately, it was too late. The officer documented everything, videotaped it, and even demanded to see Rachel's phone. That's when things became worse. They discovered text messages from Rachel to her friend. Use my brother's information to plan a spa day for him. IDC. He is such a pushover. He will not even notice. It wasn't all fraud. It was premeditated. And that was proof. The same day, I received a call from a detective assigned to the case. We have enough to move forward with charges. Would you like to proceed formally? I requested him to grant me 1 day. That evening, my phone exploded. 27 missed calls. 41 messages. Mom. Ethan, please, we need to talk. It was just a mistake. She panicked. She's still your sister. Dad. You don't want to destroy her life over this. Rachel. You selfish guy. I'll lose my job, my apartment. You're doing this to your own family. It's funny how no one cared when I was losing pieces of myself for them. I waited one day. I then called the detective back. Can we pause the formal charge temporarily? He agreed, but he said it clearly. This doesn't go away. It just waits. That was when Mom made her move. She called me, her voice as delicate as silk across a razor. If you really want to fix things, come to the house. Let's talk face to face. Despite my better judgment, I went. I regretted it from the moment I stepped inside. Rachel sat on the couch with a blanket over her, as if she were the victim. Mom had the worried matriarch looking down to a science. Dad did not even get up. We just want to heal, Mom remarked. We? I inquired. We know you're hurt, but this is tearing the family apart. No, I replied. Rachel did that. Rachel's voice cracked. I didn't think you'd actually go to the cops. Who does that? Someone who's been pushed far enough, I said. Mom reached for my hand. Let's make this go away. We'll pay it back. You don't need the police. Funny, I said. Because you didn't offer that before they showed up. She jerked away as if I had slapped her. Dad finally spoke. You're not perfect either. You think this makes you some kind of hero? I stared him in the eyes. It makes me free. And then I left. Again. This time. For good. A week has gone. I received another call from the detective. We received a payment for the charges. Marked anonymous, but it came from a joint account under your parents' names. Would you like to press charges anyway? I thought for a long time. Then I replied, no. But then I added, not this time. But I want it on record. If she ever touches anything with my name again, I want her charged. He agreed, so I hung up. And with that, I was finished with them. There's no more money. No more guilt. No more walking into rooms and being invisible until someone wanted their phone bill paid. A new start. I relocated out of the state 2 weeks later. Small town, quiet, friendly landlord. Rent is half what I paid at home. I spent my first weekend putting together IKEA furniture and listening to old songs that I hadn't heard since college. I went grocery shopping and got what I wanted. I sat on my own couch, with coffee and a book, and no one knocked to ask for help. And for the first time in a decade, I realized I was only accountable for myself. But here's the kicker. 3 weeks into my new existence, I received a letter. Handwritten. There's no return address. Inside is a folded piece of paper and a checkbook. The paper stated, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I appreciate you taking the risk that I never would have taken. Luke. The check was for half of Mateo's bill. I smiled. He did not owe me anything. But he got it. And what about the rest? I never heard from them again. Not on my birthday. Not for Christmas. Not even when Dad underwent surgery later that year. I only found out after seeing a distant cousin's Facebook post. And you know what? Good. They had now experienced what it was like to live without me. I had finally learned to live without them. People say that blood is thicker than water. They forget the second half of this quote. But the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. In other words, chosen loyalty is more important than common DNA. And I learned this the hard way. The last time I saw my family's faces was the day I left the house, clutching the folder and feeling the burning in my chest. What happened since then? Not one word. And the stillness used to feel like punishment. Now it feels like air. A few weeks ago, I ran into someone from my hometown. A girl I attended high school with. She recognized me in the checkout line at the hardware store. Hey, didn't you used to be Rachel's brother? I paused and smiled. No. Just like that. There is no shame. Without hesitation. Because I am not Rachel's brother anymore. I am not a decent son. I am not the bank. I'm not the person who shows up when everyone else is gone. I'm me. And for the first time in 32 years, that is sufficient. They believed I couldn't survive without them. That I would crawl back. That I required their brand of love, their guilt trips masquerading as concern, and their control disguised as intimacy. They were wrong. I don't need Sunday dinners where I sit silently while others toast themselves. I don't need check-ins that are essentially setups for a request. I don't need to explain why I changed my phone number, relocated without a forwarding address, or didn't show up for Christmas. Let them ponder. Let them stew. Allow them to explain my absence to extended family, neighbors, and themselves. They are aware deep within themselves. They shoved me outside. And for once, I did not beg to return. Want to know the best part? They lost control the moment I stopped asking for love and instead demanded respect. Because people like that will use their families as weapons against you. However, the moment you disregard boundaries, they label you as cold, selfish, and broken. I am none of those things. I'm finally no longer theirs. And Rachel? She did not lose her job. She did not go to jail. But you know what? She did lose her mask. The entire family now understands what she did, how she lied, how she abused me, and how she laughed behind my back while draining me dry. And now no one trusts her. Luke exited the house. Aunt Lydia won't let her babysit anymore, Uncle Brian told me during a quick phone conversation. I didn't expect that. Rachel's name is mud at every family event. You don't need to come back, he told me. They're the ones who messed up, we all see it now. But I told him the same thing that I'll tell you. It doesn't matter who sees it. The question is who made it out alive. So I did. So, no, I am not going to pretend everything is wonderful. I am not going to send birthday cards or pick up because of guilt. I'm not going to come up to fake embraces and awkward potlucks so mom can make passive-aggressive statements about how difficult it is to keep families together nowadays. I'm no longer theirs. And it's the best thing that has ever happened to me. I wake up now, and there is tranquility. I work and keep whatever I earn. I eat whatever I want. I do not apologize for saying no. I don't flinch when my phone vibrates. I don't hold my breath around folks who say they love me. I am free. Not because they let me go. However, I ultimately quit waiting for their consent. Allow them to keep their leftover dinners. Allow them to pass around my photo as if I had died. Let them chatter. Let them beg, rant, twist the story, and label me the villain. I will still sleep like a baby. Because the truth is easy. When they closed the door on me, I did not lose any family members. They lost me. And that is the first bill that they will never pay.